Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 120 days away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, I think by far one of the most exciting aspects of Episode 9 has all to do with how this movie is going to have numerous connections to the prequels, the originals, and yes, even Star Wars Rebels on top of all of this. And what's really great about this is that this is, of course, JJ's attempt to really make this movie as massive as it can be, and to really make it a world event for fans come this December of 2019. Now, with that being said, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions and one of the plans by Disney, Lucasfilm, JJ, and crew, this is where things begin to get very intense for this film. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that it's described that Disney and Lucasfilm, as well as J.J. Abrams and George Lucas, have big plans during the reshoots for the months of September, just before they plan to finish the film by October of this year, where it's explained that J.J. has plans for Hayden Christensen as the role of Anakin Skywalker, where he would be placed within the Shrines of the Sith location, portraying the role of the hybrid Force ghost of Anakin Skywalker, where the scene would involve Adam Driver as Kylo Ren, where Anakin would introduce the spiritual realm to Kylo Ren during Kylo's journey into the basement of the Dark Spire. Now, it's explained to be a horrifying scene that would give a very brief glimpse into the spiritual realm that contained ancient Sith wraiths trapped inside of this dimension that would redefine Star Wars and introduce a brand new aspect to the film. Part of the makeup plans for Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker include a glowing blue eye, where half his face would be Vader's mask and the other half would be Anakin Skywalker, staying true to JJ's original design of the hybrid Force ghost of Anakin/Vader. The sequence is said to be an ancient Sith lesson given to Kylo Ren to better understand the dark side and its origins, where Anakin would eventually vanish and leave a trail of dark side energy once the doorway into the realm closes quickly, leaving Kylo shocked and overwhelmed of its power. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that Episode 9 is going to feature a different, I guess you could say, tier of Star Wars powers and Force-related powers in, of course, The Rise of Skywalker, giving us a different medium of the franchise, I guess you could say, right? And that's exactly what J.J. Abrams wants to do. He really is aiming high with this movie. He's very goal-driven and ambitious, and what he's really trying to do here is, of course, trying to borrow elements from the comics, the books, the novels, you name it, as a way to really give us a different side of Star Wars that fans have never seen before on the big screen, which really is going to be a very impressive moment in the Skywalker saga, where Kylo Ren is actually able to see the spiritual realm, which, by the way, Darth Vader himself got to see in the comics just late last year in 2018. So in this particular scenario, we do have a moment in which Disney, Lucasfilm, JJ, and George have plans in place for Hayden Christensen to portray the role of the hybrid Force ghost of Anakin Skywalker, showing Kylo Ren the spiritual realm of course, the dark side itself, giving us a glimpse into the world in which the Sith wraiths do in fact exist and are trapped inside of that dimension. Now, this is all said to take place within the basement of the Dark Spire. In case you guys are unfamiliar about the Dark Spire, let's talk about this for a minute here. Now, the Dark Spire is said to be this large castle-like structure that we are set to see in Episode 9, and it's said to be the home of the Forger. The Forger is the one directly responsible for actually crafting the armor and the helmet of the Knights of Ren and Kylo Ren himself. So within this location, there actually resides a basement below this, where it's said to be the Shrines of the Sith location, which is where the hybrid Force ghost of Anakin is set to appear for the very first time in front of Kylo Ren, showing him the spiritual realm. And this is all said to be done by Hayden Christensen. Now, what I like about this is that Episode 9 is going to have a very dark side to its story. And what I mean by that is that they really are trying their very best to make this a darker film than that of Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, at least in certain parts of this movie, which, like I've always said before in the past, it seems like it's going to be very hard to pull off, given that Anakin and what he did to the younglings in Episode 3, and how Anakin was burned alive as Darth Vader on Mustafar. It's going to be hard to top something like that, so we'll have to wait and see how it's going to be executed on the big screen, and how it's really going to define itself as having darker moments than that of Revenge of the Sith. So, with that being said, I cannot wait to see exactly how this is all going to be organized on the big screen. This is all set to take place, by the way, in the second act of this film, that's going to teach Kylo Ren a lesson about the ancient Sith and the origins of the dark side itself, and also giving the audience, the fans themselves, a view of a different side of Star Wars that we would have never seen before in the Skywalker saga if it weren't for JJ. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.